You've been able to disrupt basically 3 industries: music, film, now sports and basketball as an entrepreneur. Has that always been the mission, or is it just how you felt and it just happened?
I believe if the front door ain't open, so what? Go through the back door, hop the fence, climb in the window if you have to. You know what I mean? Get in and do your thing.
Thanks for having me in the studio. I was walking around seeing all the plaques. The show is creatively named Mavericks. You one of the original ones, the way you wrote, and NWA to your solo career. But when y'all started off with NWA, just wanted to make amazing music and be stars kind of in the neighborhood. And then at some point, you realize, oh shit, this thing is getting bigger than we actually thought. What was that moment and what was that like?
I mean, we wanted to be superstars, but we felt like the kind of music we doing is just gonna keep us right here.
Yep.
Because, you know, we talking about some California shit, and hip hop was ruled by New York. And it's dirty, you know what I mean? It's raw. So we can't really get played on the radio. And then it started to grow. We started hearing them play it on the radio. They were doing all kind of mixes to bleep out the profanity, and they were, you know, it was sounding strange, you know, hearing these records that they're trying to force on the radio because they were so good and people was just turned on by them. So we was like, damn, so we can blow up.
The span of your career is obviously fucking amazing. From being one of the greatest, not hip-hop writers, one of the greatest songwriters ever. I love lyrics and writing. That's my favorite part of hip-hop, like the real writing. You started writing in high school, right?
Man, songs, but I actually started writing before that, you know, in you know, elementary. You know, I was able to put my thoughts down on paper.
Since a little kid.
Since a kid, you know, I even said a speech at my 6th grade graduation because I was good at writing. I never thought about writing a rap either till I got to about the 9th grade. And I was bored in class, and one of my classmates, a dude named Kiddo, asked me, have I ever wrote a rap before? I'm like, nah. And he was like, you write one, I write one. Let's see which one's the best after class. And mine was the best, of course. And I just never stopped. It was fun.
But then who taught you how to make it into a song? Because as you know, it's one thing to put words on a paper, and that's one way to judge a song, but then it's another thing to turn it into like a song, like take the words and deliver it.
It was a mixture between Dr. Dre and Sir Jinx. Dr. Dre because, you know, I actually helped him write songs.
Yeah.
And that's when, you know, when he would look at Yella and be like, what we gonna do for the bridge? And I didn't know what the hell a bridge was.
Yeah.
I had to learn. And then I would say Sir Jinx because he had the equipment in his room that we could practice off of. When I was with Dre, I felt like, you know, it's like practice over, you in the game.
Exactly.
You playing for real. You know, you have to have your shit together before you even get there.
You were one of the first, if not the first rapper that I had ever heard about, and I think the world that was like, yo, I wrote this, I should own it, I don't own enough. Was that just natural? Did somebody help you understand that? Because, you know, as you enter the game as a writer, you're like, I'm an MC, I just write. But then you realize, oh, this is a business and I gotta own shit and all that.
You know, I had some great people around me. You know, one of them was my manager, Pat Charbonnet. She taught me a lot about the business. We had a lawyer by the name of Michael Ashburn. It was them who really was telling me, hey, you know, get the contract from Jerry Heller. Let's look at it. Let's see what it is. If you don't give you that contract, don't sign nothing.
And when you moved to film, was that a plan or you just, the doughboy role, they just called you? Or were you
I mean, I was discovered by John Singleton.
But was you always thinking about doing it?
No, I wasn't.
Not at all.
I was just trying to be the best rapper in the world. Like, that was the path I was on. I just went solo. The record wasn't even finished before John was asking me to do a movie, and I'm like, you know, kind of, hold up, wait. I felt like I'm not an actor, you know, I'm not qualified for this.
Yeah.
Don't you have to go to Juilliard or some shit to be an actor, you know? Like, don't you have to go to school or
have some skills
yeah,
and learn.
like, you know.
What made you decide to say, fuck it, I'm gonna do it?
John Singleton.
He kept pushing, he wouldn't let you say no, basically?
He was still a junior or senior at USC, so he wasn't about to make a movie. He just knew when he did make the movie, I want you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, basically, all right.
Yeah.
You know, okay,
whatever,
you still in school, man. And one day my manager came and said, somebody want to put you in the movie. And I had forgot all about John. And when I got there, it was him. I knew it was real then because he was in a production office. Yeah, he had everything set up. So I'm like, okay. You know, that experience was just next level. We went to the Cannes Film Festival in France and shit, and you know, I saw the movie get a standing ovation, and it just changed my life, you know.
Did you feel like any of the same qualities from working with like Dre producing music to John? Because the director's job is a bit like the record producer.
Yeah.
Did you find a quality that like, okay,
yeah.
I got it now. I got to listen to John the way when Dre tell me say it like this or put a bridge here.
Yeah. I mean, total confidence.
Meaning John?
Both of them.
Both of them.
I mean, you can argue with them, but you better have a good argument, you know? I mean, a damn good argument.
Really? Have you been in that spot where you argue with Dre like, Dre, I don't think it's this?
Oh, man, yeah. That's how you make a good record.
I always say that
you can't be a yes man.
You need that
to
discourse.
Yeah, you can't be a yes man to nobody. You know, especially in creation. You know, you're creating something together.
I agree.
You have to be heard, and the best idea has to win.
And then you did some screenplays, obviously, too. You and DJ Pooh wrote Friday together, right?
Yeah.
How much different was that? Or was it that same feeling, or was it way different? Is it the same feeling as writing a rap?
Yeah, it is. It's different because you have to visualize the scene before you start writing. So you have to see the movie before you can write the movie. And then you have to tell a good story.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
make it entertaining.
Making it interesting. Like, why am I watching this? Or why am I listening to somebody tell a story? You know, you wait for the moral or the punchline if somebody can keep you interested.
Yeah.
You know, if they lose you on the way, you don't really care what the story's about if it's like, man, this dude is just rambling.
Your career between artist, MC, actor, entrepreneur, businessman, you kind of defined your own lanes, and I've heard you talk about you don't believe in when people tell other people, stay in your own lane. Like, you look at it as like, if I can do this, go for it. Is that your mindset?
Of course, man. Like, life is too short to be worried about in your lane. Worrying about your own lane. You know, you do what you feel. It's easier to make the world adjust to you than for you to adjust to the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can't be everything to everybody. You know, I could just be true to myself. And if I think I could do it, I don't care about history. I don't care about norms. I don't care about tradition. I don't care about none of that shit. It's like, I'm here right now, and we're about to break the mold.
What has helped you stay disciplined? Because I know you cannot get as much as accomplished as you can without being very, very disciplined.
Just understanding the moment and understanding what you're doing. You know, records and movies, all that stuff is gonna still be here when I'm gone. You know, this is what I'm leaving behind as, you know, an example of my creativity or my existence or whatever, you know, so I don't take it lightly.
Do you consider yourself, do you even think about it like, am I an artist or an entrepreneur? Or are you like, it's all one thing? And is that what led you, how did you make that leap to like, okay, I'm gonna start the big three and craft this new this whole new way of sport, of basketball, this whole new league?
Yeah, I mean, being an entrepreneur is a necessary part of, just being Black and trying to do shit that, people think you shouldn't even want to do.
Yeah.
Raising money sucks. I hate that shit. That's about like...
As the artist shit, that's not an artist thing.
That's just the biggest waste of time in the history of time.
What about it bothered you the most?
Full of shit, people who just want to kick the tires, looky-loos.
And as an entrepreneur, you gotta go talk to them.
Yeah, you gotta go talk to these fucking rich groupies. That part sucks. Looking at like the big three, what made me start it with my partner, Jeff Quinas, is we fans of the game. And we didn't want to see players that we know can still play. They may not be able to play 82 games. They may not be able to play back-to-backs and 3 games in 4 nights and all that crazy stuff, but they still have honed their skills to a level that's worth paying for, going to watch. Now, how can we see them play at a high level? Not 5-on-5, the NBA is already there. 3-on-3, that's the little cousin of 5-on-5 that's been sitting there.
We all grow up
dormant.
like that, yeah.
And why not elevate it to the professional level and craft it in a way that it's fun to watch, fun to play.
Entertaining.
Has its own wrinkles, the 4-point shot, bring the fire, and extend careers. And, what we've done for the mental health of these athletes is beyond measure.
Of course.
Because they don't have to go overseas. Some of them still do, but they don't have to. They could play right here, make some good money, and look, it's really been eye-opening and amazing and hard and great and frustrating at times.
Sure.
And it's just been something that I'm very proud of because we just do so much to help so many people.
What else has been hard about the league? You said it's been hard.
The league is humongous, when you think about all the things that have to get done. We have to put on a great game in the building, but we're also broadcasting on CBS to the world. So the broadcast has to be great too. And we're live.
Yeah.
And so it's no room for error.
No.
But also, like not getting love from sports media. They've obviously are loyal to the NBA and don't want to make the NBA mad.
Sports media, NBA, as you said, have treated you, the big three, however they have, but the Basketball Hall of Fame obviously recognized you as an individual. Yeah. Was that a total surprise to you? And that must have, how did that feel?
It felt amazing, when we started the big three, we knew we had to start with legitimate basketball history. We started off with Hall of Fame coaches like Dr. J and Iceman and Rick Barry and Gary Payton. And when you have the Hall of Fame, the Basketball Hall of Fame, say, hey, what you've done has made a humongous impact on the game. And we'd like to present an award in your name every year to people who've positively impacted the game. That's legitimacy at the highest level.
Of course.
That's what we're looking for. That was like, the icing on the cake.
So you've been able to, which is pretty amazing, disrupt basically 3 industries: music, film, now sports and basketball as an entrepreneur. Has that always been the mission, or is it just how you felt and it just happened?
I think it's the position that I've been put in some instances. With the music industry, a lot of people blame us for gangster rap. And, we had no power to make our music mainstream or get on the radio. What we thought was gonna be underground music, they really made it overground music. And And so it's disruptive. In the movie industry, when I realized, when John Singleton tells me, when are you gonna write a movie? Because his words exactly, you think you're gonna get scripts as good as Boys in the Hood? What the fuck, you think they got scripts this good laying around for you? So it was necessity. It's like, yo, I'm gonna take my career into my own hands. If they got a movie for me, that's fine, but I'ma always have a movie for me. And with the big three, we went to the NBA and we offered the NBA for free 10% of the big three to work with us, to allow us to, do basketball on the block. You know what I mean, so to speak. This your block, we come with gifts.
Yeah.
They turned our gifts down. And what we said was, well, we still gonna open up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we not going nowhere.
Yeah.
So now y'all gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
And so here again, I'm a disruptor because of necessity. And I believe if the front door ain't open, so what? Go through the back door, hop the fence, climb in the window if you have to. You know what I mean? Get in and do your thing.
Art is all about passion to me, but there's obviously that connection of as you said, as we talked about art and business. If you're a painter, if you're a music writer, pianist, whatever type of art, if you get good enough, it turns into business. For you, is it always about passion? Do you see artists sometimes lose that and start creating out of opportunity?
I think all artists have to make a decision. All artists come to a crossroads of, am I doing it because I feel it, or I'm doing it because I can make a lot of money? To me, if you put the art first, it'll always give you your answer on what you really should be doing.
Have you ever been pushed into I don't really got the passion, but 2 or 3 of my people, because everybody man, Cube, you can make a lot of money if you do. Have you ever been pushed into something where it was it was an opportunity to make money, you wasn't quite passionate as you usually are, and they pushed you into something?
Yeah, and I was pushed into doing Next Friday. Not pushed, but I always thought, dude, we did a great movie, don't touch it. And so my people was like, yo, have you thought about ever doing a part 2? And it's like, nah, you should think about it. People love the movie. And so, I'm glad I did it because part 2 led to part 3, led to me meeting Mike Epps and, Cat Williams, Terry Crews.
But left to your own, you wouldn't have made it, no?
I probably wouldn't have, especially when I heard Chris didn't want to do it. But, by the time I heard he didn't want to do it, I was invested in doing another one. We figured out the best way to keep going.
Yeah.
And so, I'm grateful that I was pushed on that. That's fine too. Long as at a certain point you got to take the reins and buy into it and go full force.
You've always been and talked a lot about independent thinking and which is the same along the lines of why you've been able to disrupt, which is not easy for a lot of people to be because, humans, we live in a family, we work at companies, we work jobs, you play for a team. We're tribal, right? So it's hard to be an independent thinker, but you've always been able to do that. Is there a secret to that? Were you just born that way? And has that always the thing that you think led to your success?
I'm gonna have to, get that to my pops. My pops, I saw him as an independent man. He wasn't part of nothing. It was no person that can come tell him what to do. He had a freedom because of that. And win, lose, or draw, he would be himself. And so when I got into the entertainment business, I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, I'm gonna always be myself. I'm gonna always recognize the man looking back at that mirror. I'm gonna always recognize who that is. It's really about being able to live with yourself. And that's kind of led me to just, be myself all times, say what I feel, let the chips fall where they may. You know, sometimes, you know, it's not an easy landing, but that's fine. You know, I'm willing to deal with whatever comes from that. You know, I'm not worried about anything.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's an amazing way to live. Q.
All right.
Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you
Thank
too,
you for
man.
having me here. Thank
Salute
you for being an
everything you're
inspiration,
doing
man.
too, man. You're an
That's
inspiration
how I was
too.
a youngster, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Always,
man.
for
Yeah,
sure.
man. Love what
Thank
y'all
you.
doing.
Thank you.